Hello everyone, this is a discussion episode where me and a good friend of mine, Warren, from the United States, are here to discuss some spoiler talks about the game of The Walking Dead. Not the recent one that's came out, Walking Dead Survival Instinct, but the one by TellTale.
Games,
yeah. So we're gonna basically this is a spoiler-filled episode. So if you haven't played the game for whatever reason, then you might want to say stop this now. This is going to be available on both YouTube and also Podomatic and iTunes, so you can either listen to it or watch it. But we'll see how this turns out anyway. So this is like a little experiment side thing. I mean, we normally do the podcast now, but we'll just see how this turns out.
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna basically. Sorry, okay.
Okay, go ahead. I was gonna say, so have you finished the game now?
Yes, I have. Yes, I know. Gaz is currently playing the game. Don't know if he's finished it yet. So hopefully, when we go back to the podcast, we'll get his opinion on the whole series once he's finished it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to discuss episodes 1 till 5, talk about the characters, decisions we made, and then what we think will happen in the next season of the Walking Dead game. Mm-hmm. So we'll start off with episode 1, shall we? So we're best at the beginning than the actual beginning where you're in the police car.
Yes, I enjoyed that. That was kind of a long scene. So I was gonna say, when you automatically, when you first fall down that cliff, because the first option is where you look around the car. I don't know, did you look around the car when you were riding?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm playing through the second time, and I noticed there's one thing where you can actually turn your head all the way sideways, and I forget what you can see. I didn't record it, but the actual really first option I chose. I'm just going to fast forward straight to the cliff when you crawled over to get the gun, from the guy. Well, get your handcuffs off. That's where you first made a few options to do. I forget. There was one thing, and then he woke up. So you remember that part, right?
Yeah. Remember that part. Just as you go along, and then you get this automatic decision, but then you hit the zombie or the walker rather, and then you end up off the cliff, and then obviously the police officer gets killed by the walkers. Mm-hmm. And then I mean that first scene we actually have to kill him is a really good. It really introduces you to how dangerous this new world has become. Mm-hmm. So, and it just makes you. I mean, that's one of my favourite parts of in the game. I think throughout the whole episode is where you have to like pick up the gun, put the bullet in, drop the bullet, put it back in, and then have to shoot. And part of you doesn't want to shoot because your instinct's not to shoot, but then it's a zombie or walker, and then you have to just blow his brains out. So.
Yeah.
I mean that's a tense scene right there. You have to make sure you can get it all before he gets you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I died I think once on my first time through doing it because I didn't want to shoot him. I'm like, okay, can I kick him again? And all of a sudden I was eaten.
Yeah.
So, and then after that you have to go across a little, through the forest, hop over the fence, and then you're to the house. Okay. So when you got to the house, what was your first? You're inside the house now. What was the first thing you did when you got there?
Well, I played through this twice, but I remember the first time I just clicked on everything, like looking at all different items. I avoided the phone for a little bit just to, and the first time I went in the kitchen, I actually slipped on the blood.
Okay.
And I was looking through the cupboards to see if there was anything useful, as you do in a point-and-click adventure game.
Right. Yeah. Me, the first time I went there, I went, and I think I went straight to the answer machine. I listened at it as I was walking around looking. And if you go around to, I guess that's the front door because you're going through the back. I went to where this bookshelf or something fell over, and I looked at the family when they're together, and there was something on the wall or on the bookshelf or something like that over to the far. It was basically just something to go do. You don't have to do it, but I did that first. Then I went into the kitchen. And I heard the CB go off, and I went searching for it. And I looked through every drawer and finally found it. So, and that was my first experience going into the kitchen.
Yeah. So, what do you think of after obviously meet Clement's on? What was your first impressions of seeing the character? Because you knew she was going to be a part of the game, but what was your first reactions to her?
When I saw Clementine?
Yeah.
Oh, I was so, what's the word? Happy and sad at the same time, because at that time I didn't know who she was. I thought she was just, she was in there and maybe someone else was in there with her. But I kind of, I raised my hand and waved at her in real life like she was waving at me, because like, oh, hey, I just couldn't believe it. It was like a nice little twist, because I wasn't really expecting her to be alone and in the treehouse. And I mean, this game kind of gives you a little, I guess I want to say, insight to a lot of parents don't understand, even though their kids are young. Their kids kind of can, if they need to, they know how to take care of themselves, because I didn't question if her babysitter, who was obviously dead, put her there, or did she go there herself? And obviously, by her talking, she went there by herself for safety.
Yeah. So from the moment you speak to her and you see, she's a very clever character. She knows how to look after herself, and especially that scene where she helps you out fight the walker. She gives you that hammer to fight it off.
Yeah, that part actually scared me to death, kind of. And I mean, I know it sounds bad when I say this, but I kind of think they overdid that scene a little bit, because they left after you bashed it once, you bashed it again, and you bashed it again, and I'm like,
yeah,
wow, this scene is something else. But keep in mind, I was also very skeptical of the game, because remember, I already played TellTale's Back to the Future, which was a great game, but it wasn't for me. It's for people who really like doing, reenacting the movies. I'm not really much for reenacting time travel. I want to go where I want to go, and I'm a Jurassic Park fan. Yes, it wasn't the greatest Jurassic Park game, but I enjoyed it. So I kind of expected that kind of gameplay. So I only downloaded the demo, because I say, oh, it's gonna be okay, whatever. But that opening scene, right? I mean, well, that scene right there with her in the kitchen and killing that zombie, that sold me right there. I have to buy it. I wish I'd have bought the Game Pass. It doesn't matter. I bought bought all the episodes. But with her coming to help me, and she gave me the hammer. Actually I said, stay back. And once I saw it in her hand, I said, oh, she's helping me. At least trying to. And and it's kind of scary when I told her the truth. I think she says, is it dead? I said, well, I think it is, because it was the first one that I killed. Well, second one I killed. And so I didn't know anything. So I didn't want to, lie to her. But when you have kids, you kind of have to lie to them to keep them from worrying all night. Yeah,
I think what I said to her first was, I think something already got us. Just not to say an example that if it had to be done, it couldn't have held back. Just not, well, I was trying to be honest, but not like what's it? Not make it out like I did it just for the sake of doing it. I did it to defend us, and because that person was no longer there, obviously.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because that actually, she remembers what you tell her, and it says Clementine will remember that.
It did that a lot in the game. I mean, I think the first couple of episodes, it does use that quite a bit, that Clementine will remember that, as we'll talk about in a minute with the barn scene. But when you had to choose between night and day cover, which did you choose?
I chose, that's what I was going to say. I was just going to say that I got confused. I went ahead and walked out there, and I think I did it twice by accident, 'cause like I said, I'm playing through the second time, and I got with those two guys. What's his name's son? Herschel's son.
Herschel's son, yeah.
Yeah, with them in the thing, and I was like, oh man, I chose the same one again. I should have waited. I wanted to wait until nighttime or whatever it was. But for some reason though, the scene played out just a little bit different. I remember, I want to say I met police on the first time I played it or something like that, but maybe my memory's a little construed. But I remember them holding the gun up, and I was scared they're gonna find out that I was a prisoner, and I basically escaped. So I don't know if I had a glitch the first time I went through, but I chose to go right then and there, and I made her stay back to make sure these people are okay, and they were, and we escaped just barely. So,
Yeah, when you have to push the cars out of the way to get out.
Yeah. Did you do both scenes day and night? Because like I said, I messed up on my second time.
First playthrough, I did it daytime, and second time I did it night time. So just to see how different it was.
How different was it?
Main difference is one the character you meet in the day. Herschel's son's friend gets killed if you choose the night option.
Oh,
but that's when you see the cop, and that's when you think that that's the after you.
Oh, okay. Cause see, I was gonna say, because to me, both day and night, they look the lighting was the same, so I couldn't tell. So I guess the first time I did choose nighttime, and then the second time I chose daytime, but it still seemed very familiar, Because I remember on my first playthrough, they talked about the school buddies and how he got killed. So I remember that. So obviously I picked that the first time. So okay, all right, that clears that up right there. So it wasn't a glitch; it was just me kind of mixing it up a little bit. So when you got to the farm. And you met. Okay, I'm gonna be a little bit confused. What's his name? And Duck. I can remember the kid's name, but I can't remember the mom and the father's name.
Kenny and Katja.
Yes, Kenny and Katja. Did you talk to them and learn a lot about them?
Yeah, did yeah, because I wanted to get to know them better. And that's the barn scene. Just after you arrived at Herschel's farm, you spoke to Herschel, and he's fixed you up and everything. What did you say when? Say come a time when she asked it smells like.
I told her the truth. I told her it's cow, or it was like something that says what it is.
Manure.
Like, manure, yeah. And she's, that's what that is? Like, yes. Or something like that, she said, So I told her that, and, it was okay. So.
Yeah, because whatever you say, she'll repeat it in episode 2. So if you say it's manure, she'll say it, or if you say it's the S word, then she'll repeat that.
Yeah.
When Duck asks in episode 2 what the smell is.
Yeah. Yes. So I was gonna say with even in the barn, because actually I thought about the other scene when you had Herschel and he goes, I know you're lying and you're hiding something, and you need to figure out a better way to tell lies, because you know what, I'm being nice, something in the vernacular of I'm being nice to you, but out there people may not be as nice. So if you're gonna lie, you need to lie and lie well, and that kind of confused me because of him, I did tell like 2 or 3 lies, but at the same time, I understand exactly what he's saying, because if you're too honest, people can take advantage of you. Like the part where we get to the one farm with the meat, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So did you ever try to? I think I'm probably jumping, so stop me if I do. But I'm jumping straight forward to the part where Duck is on the tractor.
Yeah. That's still episode 1. Yeah. That's the first major decision, whether you say Duck or Sean Herschel's son.
Yes. Which one did you try to save? Who did you save?
Duck. Did it both playthroughs, because after reading up about the decisions and that, I saw that no matter what you did, Sean would still die. As me.
Okay, that's what I say.
Herschel was respected for trying to save his son if you try and save Sean, but I don't think it really affects your relationship much with Kenny and Katja if you don't save Duck. I don't think, unless you try and blame Kenny for it. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh no. When I first did it, I was already kind of upset because being an uncle, when I was a kid, I always had, I was a teen, I had 7 nieces and nephews already to take care of. I do whatever it took to take care of them, and for him to grab Duck and just run, that made me so angry. Duck could run and find safety, but he looked and just left, and I was so angry. After that, I was kind of like, you know what? And that was where I actually got mad at Kenny for the rest. It just got worse and worse and worse, and I'll stop at that because I want to jump to the next episode, because each episode had something that makes me, I want to believe in him because he's a family guy, but at the same time, he's not acting like a family guy. He's acting like, hey, this is my family, no one else's family, and whatever, I'm going to save my family. You do what you're going to do, but I'm going to do what I got to do. And it's like, if we work together, we'll all survive, so.
Yeah. So that'll lead us to the next part when you arrive in Macon, and then you obviously enter the pharmacy or drug store, and then Lily's father, Larry, which apparently a lot of people dislike. the character of Larry for fairly obvious reasons, but
Yeah, I wanted to. I don't want to. I'm going to jump fast forward to when they're in that locker, but no. At first I did not like him because he was, as you know, that attitude he had. But I can understand why he felt like that because the more people you have, the more you have to be on alert. The more you have to be on alert. If you got a group of like 5 people, that's great. But once that thing hits up to 15, you have to keep an account of everyone. Has anyone been bit? Is anyone going hungry? Who's going to lose their mind? Because that can happen in a situation like that. You have to get accountable. And, that's how he, you can tell he probably had a military background. So therefore, he really felt like he should have been in charge. Granted, his daughter was doing stuff to keep in charge, especially when he said Duck had got bit. I didn't believe it. I didn't even see it. Did you even see it?
No, I didn't see it, no.
Yeah, so, and then I kind of, how can I say this? What's the guy's name? Doug. When I met him, I was like, oh, that's me. He's gonna stay with me for the rest of the game. He's with me. He's a computer geek and he's quiet, and he also reminded me of my one of my best friends, Scott's brother, Greg, kind of. And so I said he's gonna be with me, so I can keep him for jamming locks and getting the power turned on and stuff. And that's how I make my team. I evaluate each person, so I know I can use him. And the choice when we had to go, what was it? We had to go out somewhere and come back. I forget, where was that?
That was to the motel, which you would let us stay up for the next 3 episodes.
Okay, that's what I'm saying, because when we left, I was gonna say.
Well, the next couple of episodes, episode 2 and episode 3, but
right.
Again, we're talking a little bit.
Yeah, okay, no, that's why I kept getting confused, because we had to go out front and unlock that gate, but we need the key to get into the pharmacy to get him the nitroglycerin stuff. But how'd you, okay, once you saw the puzzle, and were able to escape, what did you think of that scene, of that being your relative?
For was like, well, that handled that scene, because again, as your brother, though, you don't know much about Lee's brother, or if they had a good relationship or not, but you can see in his face it was hard for him, but you knew he had to do it, so I just tried. So while I was just saying to him, so I wasn't there and everything, and then I did it that way. I mean, you can take a easy axe instead to just open the store door, but I just went out to get the keys from him.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say the only way I could solve that was going out and getting the keys. But before getting the keys, I had to do my business with him first. So and I have a brother, so I can only relate to, like, if that happened to my brother. I mean, I know it sounds messed up to say I wish that was me and you were me, because I couldn't see myself doing that to my brother at all. But I know he'd do it to me in a heartbeat, because he knows, I'll say, hey, once this happens to me, just kill me. Don't, there's no part of me left. Just kill me, So I felt bad. Every swing of that axe, I was like, wow, this just gets, I mean, it's sad, but it's trying to be, real, because, it's just like going to the military. If you go with your friends, guess what? You make him come home with 2 or 3 friends less,
Exactly. So when just rolling back a bit, it's this scene where Larry tries to throw Duck outside. Who did you stick with?
I stuck with Kenny. I defended it on the first playthrough. I stuck with Kenny. I haven't gotten back to that part. I'm getting right to that part now in the second playthrough. But on the first one, I was really sticking with Kenny, because I really thought he was going to change, become dynamic, and be the man that I thought he was. But yeah, I stuck with him and the family, and he remembered. So that's why he stuck with me for the remainder of the game. If he can leave, I don't know, but. Yeah, so I sided with everything that came between Kenny and Duck. I always sided with Kenny.
Yeah, because trying to get the words out here. Larry was just all like, he has to go out, no questions about it. Don't even wait. He's just has no patience, and he's not willing to take any chances. So you can see the survival side of Larry, but a lot of people obviously don't like him because he's just like being what he is, a dick to everyone.
Yeah, he's very blunt, very. So,
throughout the rest of the game, you do spend with Larry, which we'll come to in a bit. But did you try and get on with him better, even after a scene where he punches you and just leaves you behind for dead?
Yeah. When it's time for you to leave and the zombies, the walkers are coming through, and basically I'm worrying about Clementine. That's all I'm worrying about. I can care less if I survive or not at that time, because I was like, I have a group of people, they're going to take care of her for me, because you got Kenny and family who wants to take her. But then when they, further in the game, jumping over a little bit, I kind of said, you know what, I'm still alive. She's not going nowhere with you. She's staying with me. But when the things attack, you have to choose between Doug or the other girl who knew about the news reporter when she comes in and says, hey, I know who you are, but right now things are really bad. I'll just keep it to myself for now. But if anything gets out of hand, and I'm like, you don't threaten me like that. So I kind of thought, like, you know what? I need to kill her. And, I know it sounds bad, cause I need to shut her up because, but in a way, in real life, I was thinking, wait a minute, we have these undead walking around. I really doubt that anybody would want to kill me or put me in jail with undead walking around like that. So I kind of left the reality of the game for a moment. But I chose to keep Doug with me versus her. She had a gun. She could shoot. I was like, I hope I didn't make the wrong decision. So, who'd you choose?
First playthrough, I chose Carly as being me. It was a tough decision. I knew Doug had his useful qualities, which is why I chose him in the second playthrough. But if you don't choose Carly, then you won't be able to reveal to everyone who you are later in the game, because she actually convinces you or just turns around and says it might be a good idea to tell everyone to get it off your chest, and if it ever comes out, then they'll respect you for telling them. So that's what I did. I told everyone about my past, which is in episode 3, which we'll come to in a bit.
Okay. So yeah, I didn't see that. So that's what I'm gonna see, I guess, the next time around. Because I'm gonna save her, even though I was gonna say, well, I play the game 2 times around and choose the same decisions. But yeah, I felt bad for how leaving her, but I was like, I'm sorry, I chose Doug. So, but okay.
Yeah, and after me, the first time playing through it, I thought that the rest of the game might be like that. We have every episode you have to choose between different characters. I thought that would be the rest of the game, but I was completely wrong. So I was happy with that. How the games turned out overall. So then, so what do you think of the ending for part 1?
Oh, it was a great ending. It ended just right. It shocks me just a little bit, but at the same time, it's kind of like, hey, that's the way, if things come out, hopefully my choices will be a little bit better. I can save both, because actually I was going to try to do the Desperado thing, save him and save her. I'm going to try to shoot one zombie over there in the head and shoot one, but there's no time for that. You can't. You only can save one. Don't lose both, So, it was really good. The ending was really good.
Yep. So it leaves it on a sort of high, but then when obviously the electricity goes out, there's just no power anymore. So. So it kind of leaves you thinking. On one hand, that they've got a safe place to lay low until the situation resolves. But then the electric goes off and it just shows you no matter how good things appear to be, they're never going to be perfect.
Right, exactly.
So it sets the tone for the rest of the game pretty well, I think.
Yes.